Hello, this is Jenny Quinn from the Center for Innovations in Teaching and Learning at UCSC. In this tutorial, I will be scheduling my spring quarter lectures to be Zoom meetings from within my Canvas course. The first step for me is to be sure that I have the ProZoom account. To get your ProZoom account, simply go to ucsc.zoom.us and sign in using your UCSC credentials. This will automatically generate your ProZoom account. Now I'm back in my course and I'm taking a look at my course navigation list, and I can see that Zoom is not available to me. So I need to enable Zoom as an LTI in this course. I click on Settings, and then I click on Navigation. These top tools are tools that map over to my course navigation, so they have been enabled. The bottom list has been hidden, and I can see that Zoom is in the bottom list. I simply click on Zoom, pull it up to the top list, release it, let it rest there. Scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save. And now I have enabled Zoom as part of my course. Let's schedule a Zoom meeting. Click on Zoom. I arrive at this page. From this page, I see a series of tabs: upcoming meetings, previous meetings. I can look at all my Zoom meetings that I've scheduled, or go back to course meetings and recordings. These tabs will populate as you schedule meetings and attend meetings in Zoom. Right now we're going to schedule a new meeting, so I click on Schedule a New Meeting. The topic for the meeting has already been auto-populated with the name of my course. I am going to change this a little bit. Actually, I'm going to call it the Zoom. And I may add a description. I begin by scheduling the first lecture. My first lecture takes place on Tuesday, March 31st, beginning at 9 a.m. And my lectures last an hour and 35 minutes. You will see that you have options, increments of 15 minutes. I'm going to choose an hour 45 minutes. The time zone has been set for me. I am going to schedule my lectures as recurring meetings. They recur weekly on Tuesdays and Thursdays, with the end date being the last day of teaching for the quarter, which is Friday, that's the 5th of June. For registration, I am going to require that my students register before they enter into the meeting. This will allow me to have some data and produce a report about who registered and attended. I have choices here where I could ask them to register once, and then students could just continue to join meetings. I'm going to actually ask my students to register for each time they attend. For the first meetings, for these meetings, I've decided to turn off cameras in my course so that students will be just like we are now. They'll be viewing my screen and hearing my voice, but not seeing my face, and they will not be seeing each other. It's just a selection I'm making right now. In terms of audio, I'm allowing students to both dial into the meeting for audio and use computer audio. I'm not going to require a meeting password because I have established this as a registered meeting. I will allow students to join before me, and I will mute all students upon entry into the Zoom meeting. I'm choosing not to enable the waiting room, which would mean that I would need to let students into the meeting. And I am going to record all Zoom lectures automatically on my local computer. This will generate a Zoom folder on my hard drive, and all these meetings, MP4 files, will be deposited there. If there is someone I'm teaching with, team teaching with, I would add their email address here as an alternative host of these meetings. So once I review my detailed selections, and I feel pretty good about those, I'm going to click Save and generate all these recurring meetings. Here is where I can see the details that I chose. You can see that people are required to register before they join, and this is the URL for registration. And the other meeting details are there. If I decided, having created all of these Zoom meetings, that I needed to edit something in the meeting, I could click on Edit, go back to my meeting details, and make a new choice, and save. So now that all of these meetings have been created, my Zoom lectures for the quarter, how will students know to join these lectures? Well, one of the ways that they'll know is through their calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what my calendar looks like, clicking on Calendar. And the first meeting we created was March 31st. There it is on my calendar in the color of my course. If I click on this, I can see the topic for my course, Assessment for Learning, what date and time it takes place, that it is an online meeting, and here's what it will look like for students as they register to enter into the meeting. They will need to enter their first name, their last name, and an email address. I have tested this out a bit, and I seem to be able to add any name, first or last, and any email address. So this might be important that you communicate to students. They need to use their first name and last name as it appears in Canvas, and their UCSC email address. But once they are registered, and prove they are not a robot, this generates the link from which they will join the Zoom meeting. So here I am back in my Canvas course. I'll click on Zoom again. And this is where we can see all of the recurring lecture meetings that we've created in Zoom for spring quarter. If a meeting is scheduled within this set that isn't going to happen for whatever reason, maybe it's a holiday, simply click on Delete and delete just this occurrence. And this concludes a tutorial on how to schedule spring quarter lectures as Zoom meetings from within your Canvas course. Thanks so much.